everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, August 15th, 2025, and this is Flosstube video number 54. I'm going to kick right into it because I haven't purchased anything, although I do need to purchase a few things for my projects. I need the pearl filament for the Teresa Wentzler that I'm working on. And I'm not sure if the local store here is going to have it or if I'm going to have to make my way to Denver or try to find it somewhere else. But I'm getting a little tired of working in the background and I'd like to work on the Faerie's wings. And in order to do the Faerie's wings, I need that pearl filament. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do quick, fast, and in a hurry because Fridays would be the only day that I could go unless I could talk my husband into a Denver trip so that we could go to IKEA and he could have some Swedish meatballs. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to kick right into it. Oh, I did want to say that I was incorrect. The fair does not start this weekend. It starts next weekend. I've been hearing advertisements on the radio for like weeks now, and so I thought that it was last weekend, but no, it's next. It starts next Friday evening, and then just kicks off from there. But um, I'm nervous sighted about the fair. So all right, so project number one is originally designed to be a fair piece. And so whenever the project number ones get done, I'm optimistic that I could get one done each year, maybe two, like the easier kind of ones. Like I feel like I am just flying through the Bella Filipina, and then I slow down a little bit more on the Mirabilia, and then the Teresa Wentzler just takes forever. And then the lavender lace is kind of a lot like the Mirabilia. So anyway, the favorite designer projects are designed to go to the fair, and I try to vary the fabric count in case I get two of them done in a single year so that they can be in two different categories, because both of the fairs do the categories by fabric count, and they usually do like 14 to 18 count as one category and then 20 and up as the next category. So I've been trying to keep like in amongst it all. Anyway, so for the month of August, I'm working on Teresa Wentzler's Woodland Faerie as my project. And so I'm pretty much in this area. Like it's part of the Faerie and up is the page that I'm working on. And like I said, I'm getting really tired of working in this background area, and I'd like to work on the Faerie's wings. I'm going to save the skin until much later because that's over one, and I'm not looking forward to doing the skin. I'll probably do that really close to last. I'll probably do the other pages and the areas and leave the outline of skin. And then just, yeah, I'll probably wait until last because I do not want to work on that skin yet. Okay, so here is where I am at. See, like there's no skin in here yet, but I did the hair and I did most of her dress. Her dress is almost finished. And so like the wings come up. Sorry. The wings like come up like that, sort of like so. I need that pearl filament. Well, it's a Krynic and it's a pearl color. I'm just not sure if it's a filament or I'm not sure. I need to look it up and get it. Yeah, so this has been my progress on it. Okay, and then project number 2 is also designed to be a fair piece. It just so happens that this year they had a Blackwork category in both the county fair and the state fair. And so I'm assuming that again next year I'll be able to enter it in both fairs. And then I think it's just the state fair that has a sampler category. Anyway, so for the month of August, I am working on, which way is up? Hold on. This way. I'm working on Practical Blackwork's Pentecost. And so I think I had some of this done the last time that I showed it. So I finished out this. This is done. Was that done last time? I can't remember now. But I know that I finished out this and then started working in here. And so once this is done, I'll probably work on this piece and then finish it out in the center, which is completely different than how I worked it the whole rest of the year. But this is so close to being done. This is almost done. Another 2 weeks, and I think this one will be done, which would be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? I mean, I've only been working on it for like a year and a half now, a year and 8 months. I started this January 2024. I think I started January 9th, but I'd have to go back to find out. Oh, I forgot to do my times. I wrote myself notes on what to remember to talk about, and I didn't even pay any attention to them because I'm already on project 2 and I know that I forgot to talk about the fabric. So let me grab project number 1 back. We'll just pretend like I never did it. Project number 1, Teresa Wentzler's Woodland Faerie. The fabric is 28 count even weave from Fabric Flair, and this is called Champagne Flower. And I don't even think that you can tell, but this is just like a really pale pink and maybe like some oranges and like light rust color. So it's 28 count. And I worked on project number 1 for the week of 8/11 through 8/17. I have worked on it 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 51 seconds, and that's brought my total time to 23 hours, 20 minutes, and 6 seconds. Okay, now back to Pentecost. This is 18 count Ada that I hand dyed myself. The fabric I got off of Facebook Marketplace, and so I don't know if there was a brand or anything like that, but it was just a 18 count fabric Ada. It was definitely Ada, and I dyed it. And so for project number 2 this past week, 8/11 through 8/17, I've worked on it 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 30 seconds, and that has brought my total project time to 116 hours, 21 minutes, and 55 seconds. Oh no, I shut it. I didn't mean to shut the book yet. There we go. Okay. And then project number 3 is my wish list project, and this one's pretty subjective, but like the original intent is I have dozens of wish lists with different companies, like Etsy, Tilton Crafts, Heaven and Earth Designs, Hirschner's even, and so I would like to actually do the things on my wish list. And the projects that I will be working on for the next little while for this project, I've already like purchased, or like they were like a new to me project this year. But like, so this one is Heaven and Earth Designs, Faerie, Risqué, and the artwork is by Amy Brown. And I started this one last year as well. So Pentecost, project number 2, wish list, this one, Faerie, Risqué, and the next one, project number 4, my Stashbuster piece, are all pieces that I started last year. And so I've just been, I needed a break from them because I worked on the 3 of them all year last year. And so let me shift this a little bit and bring this closer. Okay, so let me move okay, so I did finish the wings, and then I went into this tendril of hair here, and then we've just been working on the upper part of her shoulder, and I'm guessing more hair here, and then I guess there's a little bit more skin and some more hair. So this is on 22 count Hardinger that I dyed myself. And I said this is Heaven and Earth Designs, Faerie, Risqué by Amy Brown, and this is the no background version. And so I attempted to dye the fabric much like the background of the picture looked. And my friend is also working on it, but she's finally got her house. So eventually she'll start working on that again, and I can show progress pictures of her piece as well. Last year, occasionally I would show pictures of our pieces like together. So anyway, project 3, I worked on it 3 hours, 54 minutes, and 46 seconds, and it's brought my total project time on this one to 132 hours, 7 minutes, and 10 seconds. And when I worked on it this past week, this is the only one that's in Pattern Keeper this time, so this is the only one that I can give these actual stats on. I did get to work on it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so I did get to work on it each day of the week, and I got to put in 81 stitches, 104 stitches, 152 stitches, and 112 stitches. And so it's brought my total stitches to 13,300 and no. I put too many 2s. I wrote down too many 2s. So I'm going to say 13,322, not 3,222. So yeah, 13,322 out of 74,797 stitches, and I am at 17.68%. So last week I was at 17.08%, so I put in a whole 0.60%. Okay, and then project 4. This is a Plaid Bucilla kit by Donna Dewberry, and it's called Hummingbird and Floral. This also I started last year. I did not use the kit fabric, so I have what is this? So I have a 14 count Ada that I can use for another project and dye it. I didn't use it because I was unsure if the kit had a rubber band holding all of the floss together. And in that one that you can't really see, but it's the flower and the vase that I sent to the fair last year. It was an Elsa Williams kit. It had a rubber band around the floss. And when I did everything, took everything out and, looked at it, the floss was fine, but there was a yellowish, brownish stain on the fabric. And fortunately, one of the leaves completely covered over the stain. But I was unsure if the rubber band was in here, and because I've had these kits for so long, that's why Project 4 is a Stashbuster piece. I'm trying to get through these pieces that I've been carrying around since I was in college and working at Michael's and using my employee discount and purchasing things. So, okay, so here's where I am working on this. I have finished out this flower. And then from here, I counted over to where the start of the hummingbird is. So this is the start of the hummingbird, but this flower is finished and I have started back stitching, and I'm going to back stitch this whole area and this side before I go over and work and finish on the hummingbird. But I have started back stitching. This has the 2 strands of the white to help show up those flowers. I don't know how well it's showing up on the camera right now, but as you can see, I've got the swirls. So yeah, so I've just been working on the back stitching in here, and I'm actually almost ready to finish out this section and move this down a little bit so I can finish the back stitching that needs to be done over there. But when I show you my pattern, I just have the hummingbird to do, and like I need to do the white flowers in here. I need to do another swirly here. There's a little bit of outlining in here that needs to be done, like all down the side of this leaf. And then like here. So from like here to here, I need to do the back stitching on. And look, my pattern's tearing. So yeah, I'm almost done with this. Which one do you think I'm going to get done first? This one or project number 2? It's a race. It's a race to the finish between my 2 projects. So this one is 14 count Ada that was white that I hand dyed myself last year. I don't know how well you can tell, but it's in shades. It was done in really light shades of blue because I wanted it to look like the sky. And so I don't know how well it shows up, but it's like a blue mottled white so that it sort of looks like blue sky and clouds, but it's very light, very light. I don't know if it'll ever show up properly on camera. But it's a race to the finish. Which one do you think is going to get done first? I actually kind of think the hummingbird might get done before Pentecost. It's really pretty close. Like I might get this one done next week and then Pentecost done the following week, maybe. Cross my fingers. So this one, I worked on it 4 hours, 16 minutes, and 22 seconds. I had an appointment one day, and so I took it with me to my appointment because that's what the stash piece originally was. It was in my car, and I worked on it when I took the kids, when I was waiting on the kids to get out of school and when I was waiting for appointments and stuff. So I just took it with me. And so that's why that one actually got more work than any other this past week. So my total project time is now up to 92 hours, 17 minutes, and 19 seconds. So so close to being done on those two, and I'm really, really excited. So now let me go into my temperature projects because I did work on some of them. And so over the weekend, my husband and I like to we watch certain TV shows, and I can't work on cross stitch and watch TV at the same time because I'm losing my near vision. I still haven't gotten my new glasses, so these are still just my distance glasses, and I haven't gotten my reading glasses yet. And so I take my glasses off to cross stitch, and so that means that I can't see a TV. So I loaded all of my temperature projects into the tiny decisions wheel, and I thought for those days that we're watching TV, I can work on a project that, like, I can crochet and watch TV, because when I'm crocheting, it's down far enough, but when I'm cross stitching, it's really close. So that because of the fabric, because it's so tiny. So anyway, I loaded all of my temperature projects into the tiny decisions wheel so that when we're on a night that we're watching TV together and we're watching shows, and we like to watch the TV show alone. That's his deal. And then I like to watch paranormal TV shows, like ghost hunting TV shows or things like that. And so one of the TV shows that he likes to watch with me is The Dead Files and Kindred Spirits. And so we're watching The Dead Files when we're caught up on Alone. Then we'll start watching The Dead Files, and then he's like, well, let's go back and watch that, like the last season of Kindred Spirits. He didn't want to watch it, or we haven't seen, so he's like, let's alternate The Dead Files and the Kindred Spirits. So I spun the Swedish weaving, the monk's cloth. It's called monk's cloth, Swedish weaving, and huck weaving. All three of those things are the same thing. This is specifically from this book, which calls it monk's cloth. And the fabric looks like Ada. That's like, I don't know, 6 count or something. I've never actually measured to see what the count is, but it looks just like Ada. And I was looking to see if the book in here compared it, but it doesn't compare it. One day I'll measure it to figure out what it is. But it's from this book called The Diamond Afghans. And I specifically am working on this pattern right here called Precious Gem. And I show you this because it's a black and white book, and the things are the pattern. So this is the best picture that I can show you of what I'm making. And so when you work on monk's cloth, you, just like you do with Ada to find the center, or for cross stitching, you find the center, you fold it in half, and then you fold it again, and then you mark the center. And so you start in the center of the pattern and you work the center motif, and generally you work it this way, and then you work it this way, and then you just do whatever, and then do the same thing. So you sort of just do like the quarter, and then you mirror that, and that's how it's done. So I've been got some work on it. Oh, I must have folded it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is the top, which hasn't had anything done. And I had marked it with a safety pin for the center. And so I start with this side, and like I did do here, but I've just been working on the one side mainly. And so the last time I showed you, I had just started doing the stuff here. So here's the progress of what I've been doing. So this is, if you can't tell, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 colors over a navy. I mean, it really does look like Aida fabric to me. So anyway, it's white, a teal turquoisey color, a lighter teal turquoisey color, and then an even lighter color. So the white, the teal, lighter, lighter. And when you work on it, you use something called a bodkin needle. Oh, this is the best way to show it, I guess. You use a bodkin needle, and it is a flat needle. And you just, how it's in, you over, under, but you do a pattern, a design. See, I like the lighting better here than down in the basement. I feel like everything is showing up a lot better. So this wasn't particularly to be worked on as a temperature project, but it is one of my temperature projects that I did work on. And I got a few hours into it because of what we were watching. Now, for the actual temperature projects. On the 11th, it was, okay, and all my temperatures are in Fahrenheit. So on the 11th, it was 76 degrees. On the 12th, it was 81 degrees. On the 13th, it was 90 degrees. On the 14th, it was 91 degrees. And on the 15th, it was 88 degrees. We have been, well, it's supposed to be. I look at my widget on my phone and I take a screenshot in the morning of what the high temperature is supposed to be. And that's how I choose my project. But we're just all over in the scale. I mean, starting at 76 degrees, going all the way up to 90, and then coming back down. We've just been, Mother Nature's been drunk. So for the 11th, it was the 76, and the 6 is the butterfly printed cross stitch. It's going to look like this, sort of. I'm curious to see how it's going to look. And I've just been working in the background. I didn't really put a lot of work. I think I just did a few in this block. I didn't even get to finish the block out. So I didn't get a lot of time to work on it, but I did work on it. And this is with the satin DMC thread, which can be a pain to work with. I feel like it knots so much easier than the regular thread. Okay, so then next was the 81, and then I also worked on it for the 91. So I worked on it twice this past week. And really, it's just been background stitches. I'm trying to alternate the color of the pencil that I use so I know where I am. I'm going to go ahead and try to actually show it to you this time. because the cat clearly got a hold of it while I was at work yesterday. So let me find the top. Okay, so this is the bottom part, and this is a corner to corner crochet. And I think I finished up and then started coming back down. So I'm gonna try to. Yeah. So I got into down here. I think I was down. I think I got down here. And my hook fell out, so I'm gonna have to figure. Oh, you know what? I might have been down in the pink. Here I am. Here it is. So I got further than I thought, and I got to fix this stitch. But I started up in the black up here, and I worked through the yellow pansy and into the pink one. It's just difficult to show because I have all these yarn balls. And Merlin, my little cat, likes to be all about the yarn when she can. Okay, and then for the 90 degrees, I did not work on it that day. That was the day that I had my appointment. And so that is what I had worked on that day. And then today, if I get the chance to work on it, it's supposed to be 88 degrees today, which is the peacock printed cross stitch. So if anything gets touched today, it will probably be that. So, oh, I have an old monk's cloth blanket that I can show you so you can see a finished product. Give me a second. This is from a Christmas one. So this one was just a very simple repeating pattern. And it had a specialty yarn, the green and the red. And there's a variegated, it turns red to white that have a silver strand going through it. I don't know if you can see that. But here's one of the monk's cloth Afghans. I did it long ways this way instead of doing it lengthwise this way, which the other blanket is done in this direction as opposed to this direction. So the way that I finished it was to zigzag stitch along the sides, both top and bottom and left and right, and pull out the threads to give me some, like little tassels. And same on the sides, use zigzag stitch and just leave the yarn. You can go through and sort of gather some of the strands and do a knot if you prefer, but I felt like this was the best way to finish this particular blanket. I'm not sure about the next one. The next one might look better with the sort of tassel look, but I would only do it on the top and the bottom. That piece, the edges have already been folded and stitched. So if I do the tassels, it'll just be along the top and the bottom. And like I said, that one is a long ways blanket, so it'll look good with the knots and the tassels. So anyway, this is a finished monk's cloth piece that I did ages ago, and this was a Christmas pattern. But this is what a finished monk's cloth Afghan looks like. So yeah, I should see everyone next week on, let me look at my calendar quick. Next week is the 22nd. I should film that day, and like I said, the 22nd kicks off the state fair, but I don't know if we're going to go that opening night or if we're going to wait for Saturday or Sunday. In the advertisements, they've been advertising, who's coming to the state fair. And although I am not a country music fan, I'm well versed in 90s country music. I haven't listened to anything since I graduated high school in 2001. So I'm not a country music fan, but a lot of the artists that are coming to the state fair are country music artists. And one of the country music artists is coming. I am a fan of, and Clay Walker is coming to the county fair, and he's supposed to be there on Sunday the 24th. So I'm trying to nudge my husband into us going on the 24th while Clay Walker is there, because when they're singing and doing in the amphitheater, you can hear it through the whole fairgrounds. So, I'd like to hear Clay Walker sing in real life versus, hearing him on the radio. So I don't know what day we're going to go. But like I said, I'm trying to get to go that day. And for entering my piece into the fair, for the state fair, I got a general admission ticket, one free general admission ticket to go. And it's not for any particular day, it's for whatever day you choose. So I will be able to get in free. It would just be my husband and my kids. And there are days that we will typically wait for, like Military Appreciation Day, because it will be either at a discount or free to get in. So it's up in the air as to which day we go. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't know when they're going to release on the website the wins, but I'm nervous sighted. This one's different. It's a Teresa Wentzler. There are tons of blends in it, but it was a much smaller piece than what that one was, and I don't know, because that one had Blackwork in with it, so it was like a cross stitch and a Blackwork all together. So it was a very complicated piece, and I not only won first place, but I won best of show. And so, there's no topping that. There's really not. You don't just enter your first fair since being a teenager and, win first place in best of show. Like there's no beating that. Like, so it's like I'm hopeful that I can place, but I'm just like, there's no way that this would be the double, like the 2 years in a row thing. So like that, I keep telling myself, there's no way you're going to win again. And if you do win, there's no way you're getting best of show again 2 years in a row. So it's like I keep trying to bring myself back down to reality. So so that is it. That is my update. And I should be filming next week. My kids do have school. I'm going to try to get this edited before I have to leave to go pick up my kids because they had a early release slash half day today. So I'm going to try to get this posted before I have to go pick them up. If not, it's going to be late afternoon when you see this. So, but yeah, so that's what's coming up. And the state fair lasts until September 1st. And then I have to look when I pick up my, I have to look when I pick it up because I don't know when I get to pick it up. Oh, hold on. So that was my husband calling. And yes, my ringtone for my husband is I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight by Cutting Crew. So yeah, there's that. A little bit embarrassing. So anyway, yeah, state fair is coming up. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I keep trying to bring myself back down to reality. Talk some sense into myself. Um, Next week, the kids have school, so I shouldn't have any issues filming next week, and I'll probably be in this room again. There's a window right here, and it's natural light coming through. Although today is overcast, the lighting is, I feel like it's pretty good. I felt like I was able to see the pieces in the camera, so this is where I'm going to try to film for the next while. So anyway, my new-ish schedule, I like that I'm able to touch my pieces each day. And I like that I have 20 to 30 minutes to work on a temperature piece. I like the thought of using the tiny decisions wheel on the weekends when I'm watching TV with my husband because I can crochet while I'm watching TV. I can work on the monk's cloth while I'm watching TV. I'm not going to work on the beads while I'm watching TV because that I can't do. That's very tiny work. I'm working with seed beads, and I believe they're the normal 11 size seed bead. So they're tiny. I can take that into work with me. I haven't talked about it much. I'm a receptionist. I sit at the front desk at the gymnastics place that my daughter goes to. And so I'm there to answer phones in the evening. I'm there to help a parent with questions, or I'm there to greet someone that's doing a trial class. I'm there to, do anything that needs to be done on the computer at work. But there are certain days that I'm having a lot of downtime. There are certain days that the competitive teams practice, and so there's not as many regular classes as there are, and so there's not as many parents coming in and out, and all the team parents have been doing this for years and don't really talk very much, to me. So I have downtime on some days. Like Thursdays are pretty busy. Wednesdays, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are not as busy, but Thursdays are the days that there are more classes than the competitive team girls. So anyway, I have some downtime, and I've been reading a little bit from the library. I was finally able to get the third book in the Fourth Wing series. When I tried to get it from the library, I was like 150th in line. So it took weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And so now I'm reading again, but I'm like, who are these characters? What, why was I so into that? Why did I want this next book? And that happens with the library. That's just what I'm dealing with. I mean, I could get Kindle Unlimited because I'm pretty sure that that series is on Kindle Unlimited. But I don't have it right now. I'm just using the library. There's another series that it's somewhat popular, and it's like it can get really dark because the series is about a bunch of serial killers that apparently know each other. Um, so that series can get a little dark, and it takes a long time to get those books too. And I will listen to a book on the way to and from work. I listened to the first book in the Legendborn series, or is that the first book? It's called Legendborn. So I listened to that. I've been listening to Outlander. Um, oh, yeah, the booster club for the gymnastics place was selling peaches. And so I bought I don't know if they called it a box or a case, but I bought some peaches, and I think it had 19 peaches in it. It might have been 18, but it had a bunch of peaches. So hold on, now let me go get one of the things that I did. So I made a batch of peach jam, jelly, preserves, whatever you want to call it. I got 8 jars, 8.5 actually, 8 jars of this size. Not quite sure what size this is, but a normal jelly size of peaches. And so that took like half the box, and then the other half I sliced up and canned in a sugar syrup. So I was very domestic, and I canned jelly and sliced peaches. So I was very happy. I did that last weekend. I was very happy and felt very, very good about that. And those peaches were really good. They're Palisade peaches, and they're grown here in Colorado. And that's all I know about the peaches. But the Booster Club was selling them, and I ordered a box or a case. I'm not sure how it was labeled. And it had about 18 or 19 peaches. And so I was able to get 8 jars of jelly and 5 jars of these peaches. And I could have stuffed them fuller with the peaches, which I can see because, there's a good inch. But I needed to, I wanted to see how much, and like I said, I could have stuffed them tighter, but I got 5 jars, so that's not bad. And that's it. That's all I've been working on. Like I said, I'm going to take the beaded flowers with me to work, and on the nights where it's the competitive girls and not the classes, I'll work on making flowers. I told you before, I had made one of the thistles, and then I got really tired of the purples and pinks, or magenta pinks, the colors. And so I started making a marigold, and the difference between the marigold and the thistle, it's the same thing for the flower part and the same thing for the calyx part. The difference is the leaves that are on it. The thistle had like 4 big loops that sort of like came out like a fan. And the marigold has it's one long loop, and then you put a couple of twists in it, and then you sort of pull it down so that it gets a, you know, bent one instead of a straight. But I left that at work. I decorated my workspace. I put one of the thistle flowers and one of the marigolds in the it has the slots and you can put the papers in. I just put it in one of the mesh things on the side to decorate my space. So yeah. So I don't have that to show, but I did do a marigold in yellow. So that's it. That's all I've been working on, and I will see everyone next week.